Welcome to the Full Moon Film Buff, episode 207. We're going to discuss Nightwolf, also known as 13 Hours, released in 2010. I watched this on Fossum. I had not seen this before. As always, we begin with the prominent crew and cast. You can find links to a more complete credit list in the show notes. The film was directed by Jonathan Glendening, written by Adam Phillips, with special effects makeup by Chantal Janetta, billed as Chantel Roy. Jonathan Glendening is a Zambian-born British filmmaker whose feature film credits as a director include Summer Rain, which he also wrote, Nightwolf, and we'll get to see his work again when we get to Strippers versus Werewolves. This is Adam Phillips' only feature screenwriting credit. Chantal Janetta, frequently billed as Chantel Roy, did special makeup effects work on Night Dragon, Dark Rage, Nightwolf, SUNB, and Freak of Nature. Sarah Calthorpe played the lead role of Sarah Tyler in Nightwolf. Her other film credits include How to Lose Friends and Alienate People and Stage Beauty. Tom Felton portrayed Gary Ashby in Nightwolf. He is certainly most widely known for playing Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter film series. Other film credits include Rise of the Planet of the Apes, A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting, Thackham Hall, and They Will Kill You. On TV, he's appeared in Murder in the First, The Flash, and Origin. Gemma Atkinson appeared as Emily in Nightwolf. She is known for her work in British television, including Hollyoaks and its sequels, Casualty and Emmerdale Farm. She has far more credits on British reality television. Josh Bowman played Doug in Nightwolf. His other major credit is the television series Revenge. Gabriel Thompson played Charlie in Nightwolf. He is best known for his long-running role as Michael Harper in the BBC sitcom My Family. Peter Gadio portrayed Stephen in Nightwolf. His later credits include Once Upon a Time in Wonderland and Queen of the South. Anthony D'Alicio played Luke, and Sue Scatting appeared as Mrs. Moore in Nightwolf. So let's cover the plot. Sarah Tyler returns to her troubled family manor home in the isolated English countryside. As a massive storm rolls in, she and her half-brothers, plus a couple of friends, hang out in the barn, cut off from the outside world, getting drunk and high. Meanwhile, something very large, very fast, and very hungry kills their dad and family dog. When they return to the house for more supplies, they find Dad's half-eaten body, and the monster starts picking them off one by one. The dwindling survivors try to get help or find a way to defend themselves. They hole up in the attic and hide as best they can. They do get a call out to the police, who send a cop and an animal control expert. The cop finds Mom's car, which is broken down and abandoned on the road. The pair is killed almost instantly when they arrive at the house. The big final twist? The monster isn't just out there. It's tied to a devastating family secret and already inside the house. A good enough twist, I won't spell it out here, but you better believe we will cover it. Eventually, Sarah and her youngest brother Luke are the only survivors. It's a contained werewolf horror movie with more emphasis on tension, arguments, and who's next suspense than all-out action. That said, there are some pretty decent jump scares and plenty of pretty good acting. Some fans loved the slow burn approach, others wanted more rampaging wolf. The backstory is never directly spelled out, but it's all there if you're paying attention. Or I'm overthinking this way too much. That's also a possibility. I thought it had a strong premise and decent atmosphere, even if the budget does show. The practical creature design is actually pretty solid for the budget, which makes it all the more frustrating that we barely get to see it. Most attacks happen in darkness, pouring rain, or off camera, which does build tension, but leaves werewolf fans hungry for a good look at the monster. There's only one clear on-screen transformation, and while it's quick, just a few seconds of Sarah becoming the werewolf, it's effective. There are no long, agonizing Rick Baker-style sequences here, but the practical suits and gore that do appear hold up surprisingly well compared to most early 2010s direct-to-video fare. Lycanthrope fans will appreciate the design, even if the movie is annoyingly stingy about showing it off. Okay, Werewolf Lore. Buckle up, pack. This one needs some unpacking. Nightwolf puts a fresh, intimate family drama spin on classic werewolf mythology, and it's one of the most interesting low-budget takes I've seen. There are no silver bullets here. This curse isn't spread primarily by bite. It's hereditary, passed down through the family, specifically mother to daughter. The beast isn't some random monster in the woods. It's literally a member of the family who's been hiding their condition. The final post-credit stinger hints that bites can spread the curse, but I don't think that's the main mechanism, and I'll explain why in a minute. The key scene that unlocks the whole backstory is when Stephen accidentally kills Sarah, and she comes back as a werewolf. That moment is the Rosetta Stone for the film's lore, and let's walk through it. Sarah is the first person the beast seriously injures, but doesn't kill, during that initial attic escape. Her leg and ankle get badly mangled. She can't put any weight on it, and it becomes a real liability for the group. But here's the thing. Her leg starts healing unnaturally fast. The film deliberately draws our attention to this. By the time they're back at the barn and Stephen and Sarah are fighting, her leg is completely fine, and that's a clue. Their argument escalates. Stephen knocks her down hard. She lies motionless in a spreading pool of blood from a head wound. Then we see her eyes go completely black before she wakes up and begins transforming. My read, Sarah had the genetic predisposition inherited from her mother, but she had to actually die for the transformation to fully trigger and complete. That's why the filmmakers structured the scene this way. This recontextualizes everything we thought we knew about the parents' marriage. Mom wasn't cheating. She was making a monthly trip somewhere safe so that she could transform without endangering her family. Stephen's sabotage of her car prevented her from getting far enough away before the full moon hit. She changed, returned as the monster, and the nightmare began. So, how did Mom become a werewolf in the first place? It had to be relatively recent. Sarah had already moved to LA for her job and wasn't aware of these regular retreats. The brothers' conversations also framed the affair, as they see it, as a new development, while money problems have been simmering in the family for a while. We never hear about any animal attack or car accident that might explain how she got hurt or died. So here's my interpretation of what the film wants us to infer. This strain of lycanthropy is genetically inherited mother to daughter, but requires a triggering death to activate. Mom and Dad were fighting, probably about money. The argument turned physical. Mom ended up dead and came back as the beast. Now, whether Dad knew the truth or genuinely believed that she was cheating is left ambiguous, but both readings work with his behavior and his guilt. So, why don't I think bites are the main transmission method? This werewolf is brutally efficient. It destroys Papa and the family dog. It kills Gary outright. The only person it merely injures is Sarah, and she barely escaped with her life. If bites were reliably turning people, why didn't Gary or Dad rise first? Why leave Gary's body intact? The film is very consistent about the creature's savage nature. It doesn't intentionally leave survivors. Now, the post-credits stinger with Gary feels more like a one last scare, possible sequel hook than ironclad proof of bite-based transmission. Overall, Nightwolf uses werewolf lore to explore inherited trauma, buried family secrets, and the beast that lives inside all of us when we're pushed to our limits. The one long night of terror structure keeps it tight, personal, and claustrophobic rather than turning it into another pack war epic. It's a clever, grounded twist on the mythology that makes the horror feel intimate and tragic. Anyway, that's my read on it. I'd love to hear yours in the comments. Did I miss any clues? If you do think that bites do spread the curse, let me know why you think that, or is it purely hereditary with a death trigger? Let me know how you pieced all the clues together. This film has some of the same energy as Dog Soldiers, particularly once the soldiers hold up in the farmhouse, although Dog Soldiers is a much, much better film. I've also seen comparisons to Howl or Late Phases, but I'll have to wait until I see those to evaluate that for myself. The real horror in Nightwolf isn't just the wolf outside, it's what is already inside the bloodline. Sarah Tyler returns home after 8 months in America, hoping to reconnect with her fractured family. The household is a powder keg of resentment, infidelity accusations, financial stress, substance abuse issues, and long simmering sibling rivalries. The storm simply lights the fuse. What makes this film particularly effective for werewolf fans is how it ties the supernatural threat directly to the family's own buried darkness. The creature isn't some random predator wandering the countryside. It's a manifestation of something that's been lurking in their veins for years. Now, the film does a very clever job of showing how family secrets act like a hereditary curse long before any fangs appear. Accusations are flying about the mother's supposed affair, the stepfather's financial paranoia, and the stepbrother's petty betrayals, including one sleeping with Sarah's best friend as revenge for her leaving. I'm not sure how that was revenge, but that's what he did. These human failings leave the family emotionally fragmented and unable to trust each other when the real danger strikes. In classic werewolf tradition, the monster within is amplified by moral weakness. The family dysfunction makes them vulnerable, turning what could have been a united defense into a chaotic free-for-all of blame and backstabbing while the beast picks them off one by one. But Nightwolf goes even deeper by making the lycanthropy itself an inherited family burden. The devastating late film revelation reframes everything. The mother hasn't been off having an affair. She's been isolating herself to protect her children from the monster that she carries within her. This twist transforms the story from a simple home invasion creature feature into something way more complex and tragic. Sarah herself changes, showing the curse doesn't skip generations or care about your good intentions. It's in the blood, it's passed down like trauma, addiction, or dysfunction in real families. You can move to America, you can run from the past, but the full moon and the raging storm will drag the truth out, whether you're ready for it or not. Another strong angle is how the werewolf curse mirrors the way family secrets destroy from within. Just as the beast tears through flesh, the revelations rip apart relationships. Characters spend as much time arguing and accusing each other as they do fighting the monster. The bloodline itself was compromised. Nightwolf reminds us that in werewolf lore, the scariest transformations require more than just great practical effects. They also require an excellent metaphor. Now let's talk a little bit about the isolation and the storm as a catalyst. The raging weather in Nightwolf sets the mood and acts as a merciless catalyst, forcing buried resentments, ugly truths, and primal instincts to the surface in the most brutal way possible. Sarah's homecoming is already awkward, but the sudden storm turns the isolated countryside mansion into a pressure cooker. With no escape and no outside help, the family and their friends are trapped together with something hungry that's hiding in the darkness. Director Jonathan Glendening uses the storm brilliantly as an active antagonist that strips away every layer of civilization and modern convenience, exposing the raw dysfunction underneath. This isolation works on multiple levels. Cell phones quickly become useless as reception dies in the downpour, turning what could be lifelines into dead weights. No easy call for rescue, no discreet text to coordinate an escape. The characters are forced into uncomfortable, face-to-face confrontations that escalate the drama. A power outage plunges the house into candlelit gloom, where every shadow becomes a threat, and every creak of the old floorboards could signal approaching claws. Landlines become the only way to reach the authorities or any external support, and that requires risking contact with the monster. Even attempts to flee by car are thwarted because the keys are inside the house, and the Jeep doesn't work, forcing terrified characters to venture back into danger zones rather than making a clean getaway. This enforced closeness accelerates the family's emotional collapse. Old wounds from Sarah's long absence reopen immediately. Accusations about the mother's infidelity, the stepfather's money troubles, and the siblings' betrayals explode at the worst possible moments, right when they should be working together against the werewolf. The storm traps their physical bodies and exposes their secrets, making sure that nothing stays buried. In true Gothic horror fashion, the external chaos perfectly mirrors the internal turmoil. Thunder crashes as arguments peak. Rain lashes the windows while relationships shatter. The weather is a metaphor for how suppressed family tensions, once unleashed, become as destructive as any monster. For werewolf fans, there's an extra layer of satisfaction here. The storm hides the traditional full moon trigger, creating a fresh spin on the uncontrollable transformation trope. Instead of pregnant shots of the full moon rising, the movie keeps us and the characters in the dark. No way to jump to the ultimately correct conclusion that what we're dealing with here is a transformed human until the movie is ready to reveal it. In the end, the raging weather proves just as deadly as the beast because it ensures the family must confront both the monster outside and the ones they've been nurturing inside themselves all along. I absolutely recommend this movie. I think Nightwolf is a hidden gem. It's not perfect. I definitely wish the crew had more money and time, but I really enjoyed it. If you're a die-hard lycanthrope fan who loves tense, dialogue-heavy, single-location horror with a strong family secret twist, this one is absolutely worth hunting down. Just know that it's not super gore-heavy wolf rampaging movie, so set your expectations accordingly. Its lowly 4.3 IMDb score suggests that I'm in the minority, but I will happily recommend it for a dark, stormy night. So, if you like lycanthropes, like, share, and subscribe. Contribute your thoughts and additional observations in the comments below. Let me know what I missed or what you noticed. Next, I plan to discuss Silver Bullets from 2011. Keep your eye on the moon, a silver bullet in the chamber, and we'll see you back next episode.